Welcome to my office. Trying something a little bit different today. I'm here with our school captains, our college captain Stephen Tran and the two vice captains Keelan Corcoran and Robbie Miller. We're having a bit of bite to eat, and I thought to change things up a bit, I just asked these fantastic young men a few questions about life at Salesian College. Maybe if we start with the skipper first. Over to you, Stephen.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. What subjects are you studying this year? And I understand you did a couple of 3-4 subjects last year.
Yep. So last year I undertook two studies, two Unit 3-4 studies in religion, society, and biology. And I think, obviously, at the end of the day, I got like a 41 in biology, so above 40. It wasn't as high as I was aiming for, which is a bit. It sounds a bit tough, but obviously I always aim for the highest standard, so it wasn't as high as I hoped it would be, but. Obviously, at the end of the day, a 40 in any subject, especially as year 11, is I think it's a great achievement. And in terms of what I'm doing this year, I've only got 4 subjects now, so it's a bit easier for me compared to these boys. But I'm doing English, chemistry, specialist maths, and math methods. So that's me for this year.
Okay. Robbie, what do you want to do after school, mate? Did you have a clear idea?
Well, growing up, I've always, had a strong sense of helping out, and it was really furthered through coming here at Salesian. There was a strong community, and all the boys, were always happy to help out. And I've always wanted to work in medicine, so I found paramedicine at Monash.
Okay.
Really appealing course to me, and I'd love to study there after school.
Okay, thank you. And Keelan, what about your future career? Any firm ideas at the moment?
Well, ever since I was a young boy, I've always had this really big ambition to fly planes, and I thought the Australian Defence Force would be a great path to go down. So I'm planning on joining the Air Force after school and studying a 3-year degree in technology aviation at the Australian Defence Force Academy, and then going to full flying after that.
Okay,
It's got it all worked out.
I reckon. All right, well, back to the here and now then, guys, but maybe we'll start with you too, please, Stephen, but what about your leadership? What sort of aspirations do you have as a legacy, I guess, for your year as college captain?
This is something that myself, Robbie and Keelan have actually talked about really extensively just on social media. Obviously our legacy and what we want to leave behind as we head into our final year and beyond. Obviously, last year, as we all know, COVID was pretty tough.
Yeah.
The entire year, we all separated every year level. Even every cohort, like within the cohort itself, was just separated for the entire year.
Yeah.
So what we're really trying to focus on is the, reinstilling the sense of community within the sense of physical community within the college grounds. Even something as simple as having the year 7s feel comfortable enough to the point where they'd come up to myself, Robbie or Keelan, any of the year 12 leaders or any year 12 in general. And just, not being afraid to say hi or introduce themselves or ask where a certain building is or something like that.
Okay. So, Keelan, do you have any particular projects that are important to you?
Well, I find myself a bit of an advocate for the environment, so I'd really like to introduce an environmental program into school. It's particularly into our oratory program, where we look at different forms of recycling, how we can care for the world and our effect on the environment, as well as implementing a clean-up program on a Friday morning to really help with our cleanliness of the school and helping out with the environment.
Okay. And Robbie?
I kind of want to take part in, finalising those projects that previous, leaders and students have brought to Student Congress. Big one for me is Oceana Blinds.
Please, yes, let's do it.
That's bothered me for quite a while now. I really want to reiterate those proposals that were brought and finalise them.
Okay. Rightly so too. All right, well, we need to wrap up in a minute or two, but maybe if we go to you, Stephen, for the last question. But I remember a few weeks ago at the ACC Leaders Launch, and you spoke very movingly about the college song and what it meant to you, and also the college values.
Yep.
Can I just ask you to tease those things out a bit? Why are the college values important to you?
So belonging in terms of, feeling as though you're part of the wider community at Salesian, which is something that's definitely something that you feel here. But even, as you step through the doors at these as a year 7, you know, with your massive blazer, and it's all a bit intimidating, so you don't feel as though you belong. And that was certainly me from the start of my journey here. But, you know, as time progressed, I just felt as though I definitely integrated myself within this society, this community, and eventually this brotherhood with all the boys, especially my year level and even the ones below. You know, I'll see a few year 9s, a few year 10s that, you know, I'll recognise, and I'll just happily come up and say hi to them and ask them how they're going. So that's sort of what is really, well, that's sort of what I really hold true, belonging.
Okay.
And obviously on the ACC night I spoke about integrity.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the second college value that really stood out to me the most. Integrity is something that I hold true, because in all my work, obviously I work pretty hard.
Yeah.
I'd like to think. I work pretty hard in everything that I do, so that I ensure that I stay true to myself, my family, like those that care for me, and those that you know, those around me, to set obviously a good example as a leader, but also stay true to myself. So that's why I touched on that on the ACC night.
Okay, no, thank you for that. And thank you guys, really appreciate your thoughts and your time. Thank you too to our vast global audience for joining in, and I hope you've enjoyed this little insight into 3 fantastic guys who are leading a wonderful cohort of over 1,100 boys. Thanks very much, everyone.
Thanks, sir.